Tonight we are talking some petty news and the gift that keeps on giving. We're going to get into some Erika Jane news. Not a moment to lose. Let's run these credits so I could drop these deets. Let's go. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Tony Michelle, aka Phatgyrlsnoop. And if you are new here and you are a new snooper, please stop what you're doing and like, share, comment, and subscribe, because like I always tell my people, I am out here trying to make it in these YouTube streets, and I cannot do that without you. So go ahead and click that notification button, like literally like right down there. It costs you absolutely nothing. It is absolutely free. And for my A1 from Day One Snoopers, thank you so much for your support and your girl. Because of you, I stay motivated to do what I come up here to do. So without a further ado, let's drop into these dates. So, Nicki Minaj's husband, Kenneth Perry, claims that his name being on the sex offenders list in New York is causing him major problems, and he wants it gone forever. No point intended. All right. So as we know, Nicki's husband was convicted and served time for the attempted R word. I'm not going to say that word up on here because y'all know how YouTube be getting sometimes, and that is not what I am trying to do right now. So you guys put the math together. 4-letter word, starts with R, ends with E. You know. All right. So back in 1995, and as part of his plea deal, Kenneth had to register as a sex offender. And word on the street is that Kenneth actually had the opportunity to challenge the risk level given to him back in October of 2004, but he alleges that he never got the notice. Now, it's also being said that Kenneth is actually suing the state of New York and the Criminal Justice Division because he alleges that he never got a chance to challenge the level 2 risk that was assigned to him due to him actually being incarcerated. And he also claims that the paperwork that was sent to him was sent to a wrong address that he no longer lives at. And he says that the signature, whoever signed for that certified mail paperwork was not him, and they forged his signature. And let's see, in court documents that were obtained by the blast back in 2018 showed that Nicki's husband was charged with attempted, the R word, back in 1994-ish. Yep, 94-ish. And this is what went down. So I believe he was like 18 and the girl was like 16 or 17. So it's not like he was you know what I'm saying? Like, he was not like no 20-year-old or 30-year-old, doing that to a underage girl. Like, he was like maybe like a year or so from the age of the girl, But that's a whole nother topic that I do not want to get into, because I feel like if it's a duck, it's a duck, it's a duck, okay? Me as being a survivor, I just have zero tolerance for it, and that's just me. But on the flip side, I could see why some people would say, maybe he should get that second chance. You know what I'm saying? Because of the age difference. Now, according to this young lady, her name is Jennifer Hugh. She was walking to school when Petty walked up on behind her, pressed a object against her back, and allegedly told her to keep walking to his house. And that's where he allegedly, did something without her consent at knife point And it's said that she escaped after she hit him with the bottle. That's the word on the curb. Like I said, when it comes to that, like, I am like zero tolerance, because either way, whether he was, 18 and she was whatever, you basically took something that somebody was not trying to give to you. She did not give your consent, and to me, it just is what it is. Now, Petty, he always denies these allegations. Even when he was arrested, he maintained, that this was not true, even throughout his prison sentence. While the victim's story never changed. She actually alleged in court documents that Petty's parents responded to her claims by telling her adopted family that they were actually dating at the time, when clearly, she said that just was not the case. Now, according to Newsweek, Petty was arrested again in March 2020 for failing to register as a SEX offender back when he stayed in California. And to which, that's where he's living at now. They're actually living in Cali right now. And Petty, he pled guilty, and the court simply ordered him to wear the ankle monitor and abide by a curfew. Now, fast forward till today, where now we hear reports that Nicki and Kenneth are now being sued by the victim because, according to her, they've been harassing her behind the scenes. Now, Barbs, don't come after me. I'm just saying what the tea is. She basically said that they were harassing and intimidating her. Once he got arrested, that's when she came out with the claims. Now, Petty also alleges that he has suffered humiliation and financial loss due to being a sexual due to him having to, register as an offender. And for this, he wants a judge to take him off of the offenders list. And I'm thinking, how, Sway? How, Sway? You lucky that's all that they were doing. Because if you did what you did, to this young lady, then you should absolutely be charged as so, and you should be punished as so. And I feel like my 2 cents is that you feel like because you are Nicki Minaj's husband, that that says something, and it absolutely doesn't, sir. It does not. And that's just my 2 cents on that. I mean, if he did not do the crime, he does not deserve to do the time. He does not deserve to wear that ankle bracelet. He does not deserve to be registered as a sex offender. But if you took something from someone who did not ask for it, then, sir, absolutely, you should be on that list, because that means that you are a problem. Whether you are married to one of the greatest in hip-hop history, okay? A duck is a duck is a duck is a duck. It's all I'm saying, okay? And I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, speaking of the Petties, there's also another little rumor going around. And people are saying that it could be trouble in paradise for these two. Now, some fans have come up to the conclusion that Nicki Minaj may be publicly distancing herself from her husband because, as little as it sounds, she changed her name on Twitter. Okay, let me bring that up. Oh, goodness gracious. I tell you, people just do the most. Okay. All right. So, she changed her name on Twitter. Now, remember, she told the world that she was married to Mr. Petty by changing her name on Twitter to Mrs. Petty, and the world went crazy. Now, this was back in 2019, and since then, it has remained at Mrs. Petty, but over I don't know, it was a matter of days, she changed her name back to Nicki Minaj, her stage name. You know, what we know her as, right? Now, fans point out that she also, the last time that she shared a picture of her and Kenneth was a few months ago. So they're saying that it might be some trouble in paradise. Now, Barbs, again, do not come at me. We just having a little kiki. Okay? So don't come after me. Now, while Nicki has never spoken about what went down between about Kenneth's court case, she's never talked about it. Same with how she's never talked about her brother's alleged, situation. We all know what that was, and she never spoke about it, but she stood by his side. Remember, she stood by his side. I believe she went to a couple of court dates, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. But my opinion is, because Nicki did not respond to anything, I really feel like she does not owe us an explanation for changing her name. Do you know how many people change their names? And people are even reaching even further. They are saying that she changed her name because Kenneth is too much in the headlines right now, and she does not want that smoke on her name, on her brand. She's worked so hard for it, but when it comes to marriage, isn't it for better and for worse? In sickness and in health, in richness and whether you're rich or poor, shit, I don't know. It's been a minute since I was tired now. I forgot my damn vow. Anyways. But yeah, so people are thinking that she changed her name because of this court case that Kenneth got going on. But my 2 cents is that her name change may absolutely not have anything to do with what's going on with her husband. I feel like that, she made this drastic change maybe because she's having new music coming out. Maybe she has new music on the way. I mean, how many times does Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs, Puffy, Brother Love, how many times has he changed his name? I think it's been like a million times. Okay? But at the end of the day, he's still Nicki. I mean, he's still Diddy. He's still Diddy. Because at the end of the day, Miss Petty, we're never going to know you as Nicki Petty. We're always going to know you as Nicki motherfucking Minaj Queen Barb. So to me, the name change doesn't really, it doesn't move me at all, is what I'm saying. I ain't even thinking twice about it. Now, Barbs, y'all need to stand down. Let this woman work out her marriage, how she works out her marriage, okay? I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that. That is it. So put your 2 cents in the comments. Do you think that Kenneth should be taken off the sex offenders list? And do you think Nicki Minaj changing her name is because there's trouble in paradise? Drop your 2 cents in them comments. All right. And moving on, let's talk about these two. Now, normally I do not cover the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now, I don't say I don't watch it, because I do be watching it for the tea, because and I definitely was watching it when Lisa Vanderpump was on there, because she made great TV because she could clear, she'll clear everything with the most proper voice, but I've especially been watching now since this stuff that went down. I mean, it is the gift that keeps on giving. And I am speaking no other than Erika Girardi, aka Erika Jane. Now, my question to you guys is, do you guys think that Tom Girardi's car accident, the one that she told the cast, remember she told the cast, well, she told Kyle that he only broke his ankle, but then she told the cast that he was in a car crash, and then he tumbled off the cliff, and I mean, it was all kind of like crazy stories that he was unconscious for 12 hours, that somebody found him in the backyard, and all kind of stuff. Now, it's an LA now. It was like not this past episode, but the episode before that is when that LA Times article came out. Because you remember, she was talking to all the girls. She caught herself going after, I can't even think about, was it not Giselle? I can't even think of her name right now, but I'm just going to keep going. She got mad at Garcelle. She got mad at Garcelle. Remember she called herself cussing out Garcelle, and Garcelle was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You the one with these money problems, not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just asking you a damn question. And, she made it sound like it was because of her that she wanted to leave. But as soon as she left, that LA Times article came out, and the LA Times article writer, his name is Matt Hamilton, he has now confirmed that this alleged car accident that Erika Jane is telling the girls is trying to lay it on thick for these women, that they absolutely have no record. The Pasadena police, okay, the law enforcement have absolutely no record that this accident happened. Now, this is what Matt told Reality Life with Kate Casey. That's the podcast, so shouts out to her. This is what he said. He said, I have asked the Pasadena Police Department about any car crash in its vicinity within the time frame in which it was reported on TMZ and discussed in the show, and they don't have any evidence of this crash. And also, according to Matt, and also the co-writer of the article, her name is Harriet Ryan. We saw being now they, like I said, they had everyone in the cast, like in different segments, reading the article like in its entirety. I mean, this was like the tea of all teas. I mean, these two journalists, they broke this Erika Jane lawsuit to a science. The article was called "The Legal Titan and the Real Housewife: The Rise and Fall of Tom Girardi and Erika Jane." The many accounts about what happened to Tom are very confusing. Now, Teddy Mellencamp also has some things to say, but I'm like, girl, you were a housewife. Why are you back on the show? I didn't really care about what she thought. But back to Matt. Now, Matt also said that there are actually so many different variations of it, in terms of there's a cliff and he's unconscious, but he only hurt his ankle. It's very confusing to me. Now, Harriet also spoke with Casey on her podcast, and she doesn't get why the police wasn't called, especially considering the type of seriousness of this alleged crash. Because remember, Erika Jane said that she didn't even call the police. That, he was knocked out for 12 hours and he woke up just fine. Now, Erika, I'm just saying it how it is. I do not believe you. Especially, ever since Bravo started playing that episode about you, when they started like the tumbleweed of events, when you was crying with your mascara, and your mascara was running, like all the dramatics, I just was not falling for it, because in the beginning, you put Tom on a freaking pedestal. You let it know that it was expensive to be me. You know what I'm saying? Like, remember that song, Erika? Yeah. So you let us know that it was expensive to be you. And I have a problem that you didn't have no idea where $20 million just landed in your bank account, and you have no idea where it was, or you probably didn't know where it was from, but you knew about Tom's sneaky ways. And that is just my opinion. But this is what Harriet had to say. She says, we've been hearing about this for 6 months, 8 months, and still trying to look for public records on it. But the Tom loyalist will always tell you what he was supposedly found in his backyard or someone's backyard, sitting on a lawn chair, completely out of it. It's a gripping story. I mean, did no one call the police at all? And after pointing this out, certain laws, Matt was talking about, certain laws in LA about actually reporting or not reporting accidents. And he suspected that Erika's story may have been made up in effort to push the false narrative that Tom supposedly has some kind of like mental decline, what was, especially as things were leading up to this legal chaos that they got going on. Because remember, before that, we never heard Erika ever mention about Tom's mental state. As a matter of fact, there were plenty of clips to show where Tom put Erika in her place. Okay, he was very, very tactful, and I'm not buying that mental wellness. I mean, I'm not buying that at all. You guys ever notice that when people go to prison, or when they know they're about to go to prison, it's like they go in looking one way, but then all of a sudden they like at the trial, they're in wheelchairs. Who we got? First one that comes to mind is Suge Knight. The second one that comes to mind is what's that guy's name? Weinstein. You remember? And now we got Tom Girardi, because this is how Tom Girardi looked to us when we first met him. And now within a matter of few months, I mean, this guy has black stuff under his eyes, and all of a sudden he's old and frail, and he can't think straight. He can't handle business. He can't handle his own business affairs. Come on, Erika. Really, you really expect for us to believe that? I highly doubt. So this man literally went from running a multi-million-dollar law firm, handled all kind of court cases, and you mean to tell me because now the ish hit the fan, now all of a sudden this man doesn't have a mental state of a 12-year-old kid? And also, I also found out that the area where she lives at, where the car crash supposedly happened, allegedly there's not even a cliff there. You know what I'm saying? So, they feel like that she's basically covering up. Now, here is what Matt also said about that. He says, I don't want to make of it except that it's something that people like to bring up, as this is an external event that led to Tom's downfall and not what the court records show, which is Tom has been accused of misappropriation and misconduct for years and years and years. And I think that is harder to face if you have to tether yourself and your career to Tom Girardi, champion of justice. If you are on Team Tom, it's a very hard it's very hard to extract yourself. So that to me seems to be what's behind the car crash narrative. Now, on the show, okay, Erika told all the castmates that Tom suffered from a head injury as well as a broken clavicle. Now, I'm not a medical person, so if I pronounced that wrong, my bad. But he had a bad clavicle before admitting that she wasn't initially concerned about Thomas's whereabouts because in her mind, according to her, she said that she just assumed that Tom was with one of his mistresses. And remember the sit-down dinner with the cast. Remember, the second sit-down dinner where it was at Sutton's house, and they basically went to have that sit-down dinner to confront Erika about all the accusations that was in that LA Times article. And remember, Erika, came in acting like she was, shocked that they would come at her like that. Well, allegedly, I heard behind the scenes that she was actually tipped off by no other than Lisa Rinna, who is her ride and die chick. She needed a ride and die chick. So yeah. So Lisa Rinna, they put her on game like, look, girl, these girls are going to come at you about this LA Times article. You better be ready. So yeah, so Erika Jayne did some good acting like she did not know what was up. But then again, I had to go back and watch it, and her face was just like, bring it on, bitches. You know what I'm saying? Because it just is what it is. Now, again, my 2 cents is that Erika may not have known about that specific case and Tom skimming off of people. I'm gonna have to say allegedly because he has not been convicted yet. But for what they say is pretty promising, and just the way that she, they cackle, like they divorced like right after, as soon as Ish hit the fan, they got divorced. All of a sudden, she don't know, what property they own. She claimed that she that she owned a certain house, that she always believed that Tom had another family. How, sis? How? When you spend $20 million on makeup, remember, $20 million for a makeup squad, okay? Now, remember, she traveled with everybody. Wherever she went, her squad went. And we're talking first class. Remember? It's expensive to be me. Now, like I said, my 2 cents is that I don't think that she knew everything, but my 2 cents is that she knew what kind of man Tom was behind the scene. She knew Tom was grimy. She knew Tom did grimy shit. I mean, look at how Tommy used to talk to her, and he used to talk to her like that on camera. Like, you know what I'm saying? When she used to speak, he used to be like, Erika, I'm talking. Remember that? He was mentally stable then, when he was bragging about all these, his law firm and how successful they was. I mean, he was mentally stable then. He was mentally stable when he dropped off, them bands in your bank account. He was mentally stable then. And my thing is, you say you never been inside of a bank before. I find that hard to believe too. You may not have been in the bank, but your assistants have been in that bank. You forgot to say that. So don't play stupid, Erika Jayne. Is all I'm saying. And I have to say that everybody is innocent until proven guilty. This is an entertainment channel. If you are not entertained, then I'm not doing my job. And also my 2 cents is that I feel like like I say, about, his grimy ways, because why else would you make up a story as far-fetched as him rolling down off of a cliff, about him being unconscious, about him and mistresses. I also saw when y'all was auctioning off stuff, there was some lingerie that he was auctioning off that you said wasn't yours, to confirm that that he has a mistress that allegedly wears the same size as you. I mean, she's pushing this narrative that, to me, she is defending Tom, and I would like to know why. Is that because Tom, you want protection from Tom? Immunity? Because it sounds really fishy, Erika. I'm not going to lie to you. That's not what I'm here for. Okay? So I'm not buying it, but I will be watching next week to see how it goes down, because I heard it goes down between her and Sutton. They're really going to get into it, and I'm going to be here for that. Okay? Because like I said, I do watch this show. But let me know your 2 cents on this. Do you think Erika Jayne knew about Tom's grimy ways? And why do you think that Erika Jayne will go as far as to fabricate stories? Because I mean, you see car crashes all the time on the news. You got the helicopter going, you got EMT, you got the police, you got everything. You know what I'm saying? And you mean tell me nobody has a record of this, Erika? Nobody? I wonder how Lisa Rinna feels now that she's actually, maybe she needs to listen to the podcast. I wonder how she feels now about it. Does she feel the same now that, present day, now that all these details are about? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just I'm real curious to know. But yeah, so let me know your 2 cents on that. Do you think that Tom Girardi's car accident actually happened? Drop your 2 cents in the comments. All right, y'all, before I go, I got to talk about one more thing. So you guys know that I love to drop my 2 cents about ish, right? But it brings me so much joy when I can actually see my 2 cents come to reality now. Remember a few weeks ago, I was talking about Jocelyn's cabaret reunion, and remember I said this gives me my bang for my buck, okay, literally. So this is where I feel like Zeus went wrong on this reunion. I feel like they should not have had Lunel as a co-host. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Lunel. She is a legend in the comedy world. But I honestly, this is just my 2 cents. Lunel, if you are listening to this, please put me in check. Let me know that I'm wrong. But I feel like just by me watching this reunion last night, that you were not familiar with the show. You did not watch the show. I believe that you came strictly for that Zeus check. Because the things that you were saying at the reunion, it just made me feel like that you did not watch the show. You started out calling these girls B's and H's. By the way, that video got a good number of reviews on TikTok. Shout out to TikTok for having your girls back. I really appreciate the support out there. So shout out to TikTok. Now, remember I said that, right? And I mean, people were coming at me. You're just hating on Lunel. You just hating on Lunel and this and that. Like, how you know you wasn't there? You wasn't there. I know I wasn't there. But, okay, that was my 2 cents on it at the time. Now, I was minding my own business, doing what I do. And I ran across this thanks to Reality TV. Let's roll this clip.
Right, so I gotta talk to a certain sector of folk out there, which is not most of y'all, but okay. So I did Jocelyn's Cabaret. It's on the Zeus Network, which hardly anybody I know has got anyway. And I did it because Jocelyn asked me to. I sort of wanted to meet her. I don't watch the show. I haven't watched the show, and I don't watch the show. And I wouldn't watch the show. But, a check is a check is a motherfucking check. Now,
Okay, so I guess I wasn't hating on Lunel after all. And that is my time for today, my people. Let me know your 2 cents in the comments. Let me know what you think about the Nicki Minaj and her husband. Do you feel like that Kenneth Petty should be taken off of the sex offenders list? And do you think that there is trouble in paradise? And what about Erika and Tom Girardi? Do you believe that Tom was actually involved in a car crash? And like, why do you think Erika Jane is like trying to like stand up for this guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, I just do not get it. And what about Jocelyn's cabaret? Was I right? Oh, was I right? It ain't nothing like 2 cents coming into real life, okay? That makes me feel good. Now, remember, if you want to see more of my Phatgyrlsnoop shenanigans, please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe because it does wonders for my videos. And you can always catch up on my Snooper shenanigans on my website, Phatgyrlsnoop.co, where you can get, a lot of people was asking me about this shirt. You can get this shirt. We have long sleeve, short sleeve, different colors. You can find that on my website, Phatgyrlsnoop.co. But I gotta get out of here because I want to start my Friday and get into some things. I gotta watch Love After Lockup. I'm still hoping for that interview, Deontay, but if I can't, I understand, because I'm definitely gonna come back next season. I'm just gonna keep trying, not gonna give up. Now I gotta run, my snoopers. Now you just remember this, that is PHAT as in pretty, hot, and tempting. Bye for now.